Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Alright, nope, I'm going to push my buttons, but my buttons don't work. Shall we go to the tweets?
Sure, let's go to the tweets. Why not? It's the year 2025 and Donald Trump's the president, so the tweets are always great.
We're going to start with racism.
Oh god, I usually like ending the night with racism, but beginning the night with racism sounds good too.
Well, I mean, Wendell's usually at the end, and he occasionally does racist stuff.
Racism the entree, not racism the dessert.
I don't think we have Wendell at the end, though, this time. Spoiler. Anyway, first tweet is Ada Lutch. Ada Lutch? I'm not sure who this person is. But so End Wokeness tweeted out an Ilhan Omar clip where she said the idea that America is a white nation that must be preserved is disgusting, which I would agree with that. And Ada retweeted that saying, every single founding father was literally white, you disgusting traitor. Like,
who cares that they were white?
Yeah, they were white.
Why does that fucking matter?
Were the black people allowed to participate in the things that they did? Or were they maybe owned as property because fucking slavery was the thing that happened then?
Man, white nationalism has really just become a huge fucking thing, hasn't it? That's wild. It went from being the fringe thing that we heard about once in a while to being half the yahoos on the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were able to participate 3/5 of the time. That wasn't until like the mid 1800s, man. We're talking 1776. They were not allowed to participate at all.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like when you lionize the founding fathers, like almost all of them owned slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like George Washington, a lot to admire about the guy. Don't forget that he owned slaves. He owned other people as property. Oh, but he freed some of them. Sure, he did, and that was good. He still owned people as property, and he didn't just
George Washington specifically had two properties, one in Pennsylvania and one in Washington D.C. area, if memory serves. And the reason he had the two properties was because there was a rule on, I think it was in Pennsylvania, where you had to get rid of your slaves after holding them for like a year or 9 months or something.
Oh, so he would transfer them back and forth.
He would transfer them back and forth to keep resetting their legal slave status.
Yeah, sounds like good, upstanding moral character. Also, his dentures were not made of wood. They were made of the teeth of his slaves. Just so you know. So, yeah, those are the people that founded your country. Like,
yay!
They had some great progressive ideas for the time. They were also moral pieces of shit because they owned slaves. Like, I don't even need to go on. Like, I was going to go on from that, but it's like, no. They own slaves. What more need I say? Owning another human being as property, not moral.
But what if they became your pet and you amputated their arms and legs and that's what they wanted?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, technically, the slaves that he made his dentures out of, they did that voluntarily. They didn't have to give up their teeth for that. But, like, what else were they going to do? How else can a slave make a little bit of money? Because, like, he paid for his teeth. He would, like, it wasn't just like, you're my slave, so give me your tooth. It was, you're my slave, so sell me your tooth or I will beat you.
Yep.
So it's a little tiny bit better than just... But, like, still. Anyway. Moving on. Bridget Gabriel says, the Super Bowl halftime show is the most widely watched show around the world, and the NFL picked Bad Bunny to perform, an un-American communist who hates President Trump and supports dismantling our Constitution. Kid Rock would have unified the nation. Shame on Roger Goodell.
Kid Rock would not have unified the nation.
Absolutely not.
Also, so I've been looking into the Bad Bunny thing, and it led me down a rabbit hole because Bad Bunny is in favor of independence for Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and that is one of the big arguments against him right now from people in general for whatever
Fennec
reason.
says nobody likes Kid Rock. Yes, but that's what would unify everybody.
That none of
Everybody
us like
could
Kid Rock.
unify about how much they don't like Kid Rock. Did you
Um,
know Kid Rock was in a sex tape with Scott Stapp of Creed?
no,
Hold that in your mind for later. Go on
wild.
about Bad Bunny.
So the reason that people don't like Bad Bunny is because Bad Bunny like actively puts his politics into his artistic work. And there are people who really do not like it when you do that. Even though, politics and artwork have collaborated since well, we could draw fucking cave
Forever.
paintings. Yeah. Like that's just kind of how things have been since the dawn of societies existing in general. I disagree with Dear
ever
Leader
since
on
people learned to express themselves, they started expressing their opinions when they expressed themselves. Fancy that.
what a weird coinky dink. Anyway, the end result of that, like I said, was me going down a long rabbit hole of researching the founding of Puerto Rico, or not the founding, but like when we took it over.
I'm sorry. Kitsune Cavalier says, it goes to show my sexism when I thought Bad Bunny was a woman. Okay, fun fact, the only reason I know Bad Bunny was not a woman is because I'm a huge nerd who watches tech YouTube, so I saw Linus Tech Tips on, I think it was Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, one of the two Jimmys, and Bad Bunny was also the guest. That's the only thing I know about Bad Bunny, is that he was once on the Late Show with Linus Tech Tips.
Fun.
So, yeah, no, that's your sexism. The only reason I knew he wasn't a woman is because I'm a nerd who watches Linus Tech Tips.
But he advocates for Puerto Rico being its own country, just no longer being under the thumb of the United States. And
so every single bullet point that's listed in the Declaration of Independence as a reason why they're declaring their independence, he sees how that applies to Puerto Rico and is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be hypocrites about this.
Yeah, basically, because the United States is not supposed to have colonies. That is a thing that we openly declared that we do not have, and yet we actually have Puerto Rico, and it is
Islands.
It's functionally a colony, and every single citizen there is a second-class citizen to American citizens without any kind of independence. Now, because of that, I've usually argued in favor, with not a lot of research, mind you, but argued in favor of Puerto Rico becoming a state. Because if you're going to be part of the United States, then you may as well, you may as well have the say in the United States. And one of the arguments that the United States has tried to use, not use, but like one of the backbone arguments for not bringing Puerto Rico into the fold of the United States has been that like 60% of their population qualifies for welfare because it is a very, very poor country economically.
So let's fucking help people. They're just human beings who need some help.
Yes, but you have American politicians who see dollar signs and not people. And those politicians see it as an expensive undertaking, an expensive project, instead of the dues of the people.
But they at least got statehood out of the deal. Puerto Rico just got the annexing. And Guam and the Virgin Islands. American Samoa. All y'all's colonies that you don't call colonies for whatever reason. Anyway, continue.
No, it was just me going down that rabbit hole, basically hearing that, hey, arguments in favor of Puerto Rico becoming a 51st state. This is a place that should be a 51st state because we shouldn't have colonies, and we should be helping the poor in there, raise themselves up. That is a thing that we should be doing, and yet we don't. Arguments in favor of independence. Hey,
you know what? Providing people with human rights is a thing that's going to come up later in Twit Tweets as well.
Wild.
Yeah. Human rights are a good thing. That's a hot take, apparently. And hey, while we're providing these human rights, let's let them have some representation.
No, never.
Okay. All right, this one's a little bit more lighthearted. So Lilith posted that meme where if atheism is a religion, then bald is a hair color, sort of thing. So Eric
Mm-hmm.
says, bald isn't a color, it's a hairstyle with no hair. Atheism isn't a godless void, it's a religion with no god. Checkmate, atheists. You're
There
a
are
religion too, and
atheistic
religion is bad.
there are atheistic religions, but that
There
doesn't make
are.
atheism a religion.
No, atheism is just, I'm not convinced. Like, you say God exists. I'm not convinced that God exists. That's all it is.
Actually, the word we use to describe that would be agnostic classically, and that's
Fuck
not.
your face. Fuck your fucking face. That's bullshit. That's like fucking debate
Shooty,
me, bro bullshit. Like the
Shooty
whole
Bob,
like I
Shooty
fucking
Bob says theism is a religion. No, it's not. No, theism is a belief in God. That does not mean that you have a religion.
yeah, no, I fucking hate that discussion where like it like yes, technically speaking, if you're in a philosophical debate setting, the atheist has the burden of proof if they are saying that no gods exist. Sure, fine. Do you know how often that's relevant? 0.01% of the time, or something close to that. In most cases, in regular everyday conversation, you know who has the burden of proof? Not necessarily the person making the claim, the person who actually cares whether or not the person you're talking to changes their mind. In most cases, the atheist doesn't care whether or not you stay a Christian at the end of the conversation. They're just like, yeah, no, I just don't believe in your God. But the Christian is trying to convert people. So, yes, the Christian has the burden of proof. So, atheism is the nothing statement. Atheism is the, like, yeah, you're trying to prove to me that your God exists, but, like, your stuff doesn't make sense, man. So, I'm just an atheist.
Shooty Bob says was being hyperbolic. Okay, fair. But I'm generally speaking, if I'm going to take umbrage when Eric Hovind says dumb shit about me and my lack of faith, I'm going to take the same umbrage when people on my side say stupid shit too. But Dragonix says calling atheism a religion shows you don't know what the word religion means. Well, yeah, duh. Like, where
Yeah,
are the
but they're saying that
practices? Where are the meetings?
they are saying that in order to disparage atheism, because they recognize that religion is inherently not a great way of determining truth.
They have to call atheism a religion as well.
Yeah. Because if
It's
atheism is just a religion, it can be
unironically
dismissed, because religions can just be dismissed.
it's unironically the idiot brings you down to their level instead of having a conversation at yours,
Mm-hmm.
so they can beat you with experience.
Yeah.
What does atheism give you? What moral structure does it give you? Well, it doesn't. It doesn't have to.
Well, I mean, but you could answer that. Like, it gives me humanism. And
Humanism doesn't
is far
necessarily
superior to Christianity in my mind.
humanism doesn't necessarily stem from atheism, though.
It doesn't necessarily stem from atheism, but it can stem from atheism. You can
I feel
arrive
like
at humanist conclusions with atheism as a starting point.
I feel like you can arrive at humanist conclusions with Christianity as a starting point too.
You
though.
can, which is the great thing about humanism. Humanism just says, hey, let's make life good for as many people as possible. Because as far
Yeah.
as we can tell, this is the only one we got. And yes, you can get there from a Christian perspective. And even then, it's like we're saying, oh yeah, we want eternal salvation and we want eternal paradise or whatever, but this life is still worth living and we should make it as good as possible for as many people as possible. But like, you can get to humanism from atheism. But for some reason, the apologists just refuse to acknowledge the existence of any moral standard that isn't the one that they pre-approved. Like they ignore centuries of moral philosophy just to say, yeah, but my God's the source of morality, and in order to have anything be moral or immoral, you have to borrow from that. Even though I will turn around and borrow from utilitarianism when you ask me about the genocides in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But humanism is borrowing morality from Gay Unicorn Gary, who, remember, Gay Unicorn Gary has placed within everyone a desire to participate in a gay orgy. And if you don't have that desire, if you refuse to acknowledge that desire, then that is just you suppressing that in your unrighteousness. Praise be Gay Unicorn Gary. At merch.vicerhino.com.
Why do you need threats of punishment to not hurt people?
Gay Unicorn Gary doesn't, like, the gay orgy thing is irrelevant in the larger scale of things to Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Gary is humanist. It's just that gay orgies are fun, so let's do it.
Duct Tape Jake says, gotta be clear, I'm apparently suppressing that desire.
Yeah.
And
suppressed. I mean, personally, I wouldn't go for the gay orgy. I'd go for the everybody orgy.
I'll take the everybody orgy. Like, I don't have any want to have sex with men, but I'll gladly have sex with a woman while 5 other men are having sex with her too.
Does this hole belong to a guy or a girl? Who cares? It's a hole.
Yeah, you're an any hole's a goal type of person.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Any hole's a goal.
Whereas for me, my group sex experiences have been, yeah, it's fun spit roasting.
I'm Ace, so Gay Unicorn Gary never made me a desire. No, you are just denying that desire in your unrighteousness.
In your unrighteousness.
You just desire to sin by not having the gay orgy. I don't know, man. I'm just turning Christian. No, Gary is turning Christian stuff back on the. Oh, I don't know. Whatever the fuck.
You don't know whatever the fuck?
I don't know whatever the fuck. Talk to Gary. He knows. Okay, moving on. John Fetterman. Yay. Says, it's a sad day for our nation. Our government shuts down at midnight. I voted aye to just say yes, you fucking pretentious shit. I voted aye to extend the ACA tax credits because I support them, but I won't vote for the chaos of shuttering our government. Yeah,
just fucking let the shutdown happen this time.
Fun
instead
fact,
of letting Schumer vote the other way.
Fun fact, the Republicans are in charge of all 3 branches of government. If they can't keep it open, that's on them. So this isn't about being bipartisan and finding a better way forward together. It's not about voting with your country over your party. It's about the people in charge are inept as fuck. And like, if you are willing to sacrifice your constituents' health care on the altar of bipartisanship, then you're not bipartisan. You're just anti your constituents.
Remember, you are also sacrificing veterans' health care, but we are going to make sure that during the shutdown, we are working on that ballroom. President Trump's ballroom will go through even through the shutdown. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, because they're essential employees. It's essential to build a ballroom for the White House.
Exactly. Why would you not want to build the ballroom?
You guys' government is bullshit.
Are you saying that you don't believe in the American ballroom?
Correct.
How fucking dare you?
I think the ballroom should be the absolute lowest priority right now.
And honestly, the thought of a bug who thinks offends me.
Okay, well, don't play Hollow Knight then.
I find the thought of a bug who thinks offensive.
Okay. Next up, Jack Posobiec. This is where Creed comes back. Says, sure would be a shame if TPUSA hosted a counter Super Bowl halftime show with Creed. Like, okay.
Wait.
I say this as someone who was a massive Creed fan in high school and still occasionally listens to their music. But I've only started to come back around on their music recently because Scott Stapp has like actually been public about having bipolar disorder and getting treatment and not being an abusive piece of shit to his wives anymore. Because like it used
Mm-hmm.
to be when I heard his voice, it was like, no, that guy beats his wife. I can't listen to this and enjoy it. But like he seems to be like actually on the path to like getting treatment that he needs. Um, so like as someone who still listens to some Creed song, like I have a guitar behind me, I could bust it out. I don't even know what it's tuned to. I guarantee you, whatever it's tuned to, I can play a Creed song that is in that tuning.
Yeah.
Um, they are no, don't do the halftime show with Creed. They did it back in like 2003 or some shit. And that, I actually got pissed off at that one because they were very clearly lip syncing because they were it was a medley of three of their songs, and because I can play all their songs, I knew that all three of the songs were in different tunings, and it's not just like one of those like I can make it work in a different tuning. It's like no, it is impossible to play that song in the tuning of this other song. And then there were other like Scott Stapp had the microphone like hang him down by his side when he started singing. It was like okay, they're clearly lip syncing. So like I was, and I get that it's the Super Bowl, so everybody fucking does that. Yeah, that's not special to them, but it was still disappointing to me as a Creed fan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Duct Tape Jake says that's just a concert. Yeah, I know, I get it. I get it now, but like at the time, I was disappointed in them. Um, but oh, you mean the Super Bowl halftime show that they do with Creed is just going to be a concert? Okay, fine. And honestly, I've actually been purposely ignoring any news whatsoever about anything to do with their personal lives because I know that like there's footage of them before they go out to concert. They like huddle together in prayer before they go out to their concert. So I'm like, I know they're Christian. I know they're and they actually believe that shit. So like, there's a non-zero chance that they're MAGA, and I don't want to know because I want to
Yeah.
still be able to enjoy the music. So like it's possible that if TPUSA did put on a counter Super Bowl halftime show, Creed would show up and then I'd never be able to listen to them again. And I would be sad. And I would still play them on my guitar. But it's just sad that these people think that they can compete with the actual fucking halftime show.
It makes sense though. They think that anything that is controversial automatically means that it's not going to be popular.
But the real question
Bad.
is, Cirrus, can you take me higher
No.
to a place where blind men see?
No.
Yeah. Did you know there was a Creed themed cruise that you could go on?
There's a what?
That was the thing you could do for a little while. I think that was like the one of the first things they did after they got back together. So like they split up in the early 2000s when the guys from Creed formed Alter Bridge, and then there was a brief period of time where they like it's like for the longest time they were like, oh no, we're never getting back together as Creed. That's just never gonna happen. And then they got together again and released another album, and then they kind of split up again and didn't do anything for a few years. And then out of nowhere, they were like, yeah, no, you can sign up for the Creed cruise and come on a Creed themed cruise, and we're going to do concerts on this cruise. And it was just like, oh, that's kind of cringy.
You know, in
And
January, there's going to be a Magic the Gathering cruise.
I have met most of the members of the band of Creed. I have a guitar signed by most of them.
Stop says Creed is incredibly mid. I
Yeah,
don't
but I
have
was
much of an opinion on Creed.
so that this is where my I'm gonna my 90s kid hat is going on. We're going to take off my Sherlock hat, put on my 90s kid hat, which I don't actually have, so I'm just gonna um no there was so my thing was that Creed was very much focused on commercial success.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you look at the stuff they did with Alter Bridge, the guitar stuff specifically, Tremonti started doing much more complex stuff with Alter Bridge than he did with Creed, because Creed, he was very focused on commercial stuff, and so like the solos were not all that interesting, and it was fairly simple melody wise or whatever, because it needs to be commercially viable. Whereas Alter Bridge was kind of there, like, let's just fucking let loose and do what we want to do.
Yeah.
And so it was much better. And like the first album, half the songs for that were written for Creed, and then Scott Stapp had his mental breakdown. Jester says, of course they are mid. Christian band means mid. Yeah, no, this is where I will like, no, they were not a Christian band. They were a band that happened to be Christian. And they use Christian imagery in their songs, but they were not a Christian band. But anyway.
There is a difference.
There is a difference. And I don't need to get into this, because
you've gone down the rabbit hole already.
I'm already too far in. I'm already too far in. Whatever.
Yeah, we're like, I'm in the smile and nod part of the stream.
I'm like, if this plant wasn't in the way, I'd pick up my guitar and start playing some Creed songs now.
Like, there's nothing wrong with me being in smile and nod mode. It's the easiest part of the stream for me. I just also want it to be known I'm in smile and nod mode.
Their name is Creed. Shut up, Duct Tape Jape. Okay, the name Creed came from... Scott Stapp was abused as a child. His father was a pastor, and he like forced him to read Bible verses as a punishment all the time. Here. And that's why all their music was like... No, I'm just gonna... No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't actually like them anymore, okay? I'm still kind of... But if they perform at TPUSA, absolutely not. I will, like, that'll be a boycott. Actually, no, it won't be a boycott. It'll probably be an accidental boycott, because like same thing with like when it came out that Scott Stapp was abusing his partners. It wasn't that I stopped listening because I was actively boycotting. It was that hearing his voice was like, oh, that's a wife beater, and I don't like thinking of wife beaters, so I'm just not going to listen to that voice anymore.
Yeah, they're only really attractive on women.
Sure. I forget where I was even going with that. Anyway, next tweet.
Yay!
Frank Turek says, what is the meaning of life? Ken replies with, to glorify God and enjoy him forever. That's such a banal, boring, why would you want that to be your meaning? Like, I would much rather my meaning of life be to make life better for other people.
My meaning for life is enjoying myself and making the other people around me also enjoy themselves. Which is why I play a copious amount of Magic the Gathering.
Fennec says 42, obviously. Fennec, you're wrong. 42 is the answer to life, not the meaning of life. Everybody makes that mistake, but it is a mistake. It is the answer to life, the universe, and everything, not the meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
Hey, Rhino, you know what's wild?
What?
I only played one game of Magic the Gathering at the Magic the Gathering convention.
I played with my kids the other day.
I spent...
fucking trounced them.
Die, potatoes!
Well, that's the thing.
No.
So, okay, I don't know what happened, but I have... Fennec is spanking us again.
Fucking pronouns!
Oh, no, that's the wrong button.
You've been a bad girl.
The right button.
Fucking pronouns is always the right button. Yeah, no, I have the Sauron deck, but it's missing a bunch of cards. So I had to play with my my what's-her-face deck again.
Oh, Emeria?
Yeah, that one. And so I didn't get Scoot Swarm up. My kids are obsessed with Scoot Swarm. They don't seem to realize that like my whole deck is built around minions.
Yeah, Scoot Swarm just happens to be one of the strongest ones.
So the whole time they're like, oh, if Papa gets Scoot Swarm, we're gonna be screwed. I'm like, I'm probably not going to get Scoot Swarm because we don't get halfway through the deck, and there's a 50% chance it's on the bottom side of the deck. But I have like 7 2/2 cat beasts, and I have like 15 1/1 white soldiers with a bunch of counters on them that make them 7/7 creatures or whatever. So like, I'm just gonna fucking steamroll you guys eventually. And I was trying to go easy on them, but one of my other kids had one that was like at the end, like, as long as this card is on the field, everybody has to attack someone.
Oh yeah, Carter.
I don't remember what it was. I don't think it was that one. But like that was one of the effects, is that you have to attack on your turn. I'm like, I'm sorry. You're just dead now because you forced me to attack.
Yeah.
Justice says, ew, a Scoot player. Blame Cirrus. He's the one that gave me the card.
Yep. I have learned that there's a path that all commander players take. When they are learning the game, they get stronger and more powerful cards. And then once they've gotten to a point where they go, okay, I've played with the strong and powerful cards. Now I'm okay scaling my decks down because I know what it's like to play with power, and I know exactly how much of it that I actually want to play with. But step one on that is always letting those players play with whatever the hell. I actively don't put Scoot Swarm in the majority of my decks that could use it because I think it's too powerful. But I know a billion other ways to win because I play this game too goddamn much. I can get creative with my wins because I play this game too goddamn much.
Yeah.
Although I did think about taking one of my extra copies of Emeria and getting it signed and sending it to you because the artist behind Emeria was actually at the convention.
I would have enjoyed that, but I'm very bad at signed things. Like, I have a guitar that is signed by most of the members of Creed. It's sitting in my garage right now and is probably ruined because of humidity or something, because I'm just bad at that sort of thing.
I mean, you would just put it as the commander in your deck. Like, your commander's the signed card.
Sure.
That's what I do with my signed cards. They don't go in like a binder or anything. I only get cards that I use signed.
While we're talking about Magic, you can entertain them for a while. I'm going pee.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me just go ahead and let you guys know. When Vice Rhino pees, it first hangs a little to the left, and he's got to adjust it a bit. And then once he gets that fixed, then he's able to actually let loose. But like 30% of it ends up on the fucking rim, and I don't know how he manages that. It's always exactly 30%. It's like the Fibonacci sequence. It's mathematically interesting, but it's like existentially terrifying. Honestly, I don't get it. But I mean, his wiener, not mine. I'm not gonna judge exactly what he does with it. Shitty Bob says, I used to play back at Invasion, dipping my toes back in, but all I've got right now is precons. There's nothing wrong with playing precons. Precons are fine. I play a lot of I do a lot of shit with precons. Precons are good. Serious, don't you be talking about Rhino peeing when you take a half hour to poop. You're right, Naki. But the reason that I can criticize the way Vice Rhino pees is because of how much time that I do spend pooping. You don't understand. I am a toilet aficionado. And it's because of that, a toilet aficionado, that I am able to critique other people in how they utilize their toilets. Cirrus has IBS. Yeah, probably. I probably do have irritable bastard syndrome. Naki says precons are awesome as a basic deck to modify. I mean, they're awesome as more than just that, though. Like, a lot of precons are these days are just really, really powerful. They're just generally very, very strong. Sean says, I play Hearthstone for a reason. People, my decks are free. Not after what Blizzard had to get to gain access to your soul. Hi, Rhino.
Hi.
Hi. I only spent a minimal amount of time narrating your piss.
Okay.
Everybody in chat now,
It was wet.
they know that 30% of your piss makes it onto the toilet seat. Exactly 30% of it every time.
Yeah, but I clean up after it.
Yeah, but they know that it lands there. So they know that your aim is always 30% off, which is reliably unreliable.
It's not about the aim, it's about the watering can effect.
It's not always about the money, Spider-Man.
I don't know why that quote would be relevant. Anyway, next tweet. Lobo. Says, what do Hamas and the Democrats have in common? They like to hold Americans hostage and try to get what they want. Get it? Because of the shutdown that the Republicans are 100% responsible for? Because they're the ones in charge of all branches of government right now?
Yay. So happy.
Yes, and somehow that's the Democrats' fault?
I love everything always being the fault of the left. Even though the Democrats aren't really the left, the centrists, I guess, in this case. Wild.
Oh, did you see, what's his face? There was a guy running for governor who, when it came out that he follows a bunch of like trans porn creators on Twitter because he's running as a Republican, as soon as that came out, he dropped out of the race. And then everybody was responding to the tweets, posting about it, being like, oh, he was actually a leftist. He was a registered Republican. How could he be a leftist?
Liking women with dicks does not make you leftist. It just makes you based.
And the fact that you're embarrassed about that, like embarrassed enough to actually change your career path about that, is just showing that you're weak.
It just shows you're a pussy.
No, pussies are strong. It shows you're weak. You're a dick. His dicks are weak.
Am I going to have to pull up the definition now?
Of dick?
No. Pusillanimous.
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 You're a pusillanimous.
You're pusillanimous.
Exactly. Probably.
Also probably.
As Real says, I'm still trying to figure out how to fill out an app for Trantifa.
Lauren Boebert, number 2. Retweeting Congresswoman Sarah McBride. So McBride pointed out that they left the floor because like they arrived, they tried to, you know, put stuff up. It was like, hey, we could keep the government open and fund things. And the Republicans were like, nope, gavel, we're closing, we're stopping. Don't do it. No, you can't put things out. Like, nope, we're just done. Basically ran away with their tails between their legs. And Sarah McBride was pointing that out. To which Lauren Boebert says, so says the king of spins. Y'all voted to shut down the government last week. Nice try, bro. Which, when I first read this, I read the bro as the same as my kid. We're like, bro. But now that I'm reading King of Spins and realizing that Sarah McBride is the one trans rep, this is just her trying to misgender her.
Yep.
I didn't realize. When I took the screenshot, I did not realize that it was as toxic as it is. Yes, also fuck Sarah McBride for being a spineless coward. I agree with that. But also fuck Lauren Boebert for misgendering Sarah McBride.
Yep. We do not hold your gender hostage based on how good of a two-shoes you are.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Sarah McBride as the first trans... Is she the first trans woman in Congress?
I believe so.
Yeah, so not a fan of her as the first. There are other people that would have been better firsts. But that doesn't mean you misgender her. And that's actually one of the things where, like, I remember I made a video a while ago where I purposely referred to God as she. And the biggest pushback I got from that was not from offended Christians. It was from people being like, hey, we don't actually misgender people as an I told you so sort of thing. That's not cool. That's not actually being a trans ally. That's just being a dick.
My response to that personally is that I don't care to be policed by the people I am trying to protect when I am using a weapon you object to.
So that's the thing that was like, it was not a like all of it was basic, like it was good faith, like, hey, in the future this is how we feel about that, so please be more aware of that. It wasn't a you shouldn't do that or we're going to cancel you sort of thing. Like when I say that they were offended by, I'm not being like, there wasn't like some uproar meant to cancel me or whatever. It was actually very polite, but it did not. It didn't trigger the Christians. It was the people who are most sensitive to misgendering that were like, hey, that's actually not cool.
I can understand the perspective. I can just also recognize that I think it is a perspective with not a ton of use, personally. Like, I'm sorry, if somebody is frequently misgendering my partner, and I misgender them back, and it's going to take a lot longer for that to affect them. But if they start to get agitated at all for it, then I'm okay. If it's a tool that they decided they were willing to use, then it is a tool that I am willing to use as well. I'm done playing by the stupid fucking rule in general.
So I would say that's probably a different situation because I was doing it to Christians in general rather than specifically someone who does misgender people.
Then
So
more of a misapplication of a tool. I guess more of just a misapplication of a tool at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
And like I said, the corrections were all very respectful and
like well-meaning.
Hey, your heart's in the right place, but please don't.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm still gonna hold fast in my thing that if there is a tool that the enemy is utilizing, I am also going to utilize it because I am tired of playing by a different set of fucking rules because it hasn't worked.
I mean, Jesse Waters said to bomb the UN, so let's bomb Fox. That's a joke. Haha, funny, funny. And it's not a problem because Jesse Waters said it's not a problem, right?
Stop says God's a bitch.
God is a bitch. That's a gender-neutral term.
It's a gender-neutral term, but I've gotten people angry at me for using it as well.
Yeah, but God is a bitch.
And I'm just like, look, I'm sorry. I'm done playing the game that way. Playing the game that way is dumb. It just took a very long time to realize it was dumb.
Okay, moving on. Sherry says, to all leftists trolling my posts, illegals do access...
Sherry?
Probably not. But illegals do access our hospitals and healthcare systems. They can't pay their bills. Hospitals then get reimbursed by the federal government. That's our tax dollars footing the bill. Free medical care for illegals, courtesy of you and me. Couple things. First off, healthcare is a human right, so I don't fucking care. That's fine. Secondly, the thing that the Republicans are saying is that the illegal immigrants are using the American Health Care Act, or ACA, whatever the fuck it's called, Obamacare, that they are using that
the Affordable Care Act.
Get money. There's a big difference between I am getting insurance through the government and I'm not getting any insurance. My life is being ruined financially, but I also didn't pay the hospital, so they had to get reimbursed from the government. Those are very different statements. And one of those is not being made by the people in charge right now.
Did gaff the government paying for healthcare? Perish the thought. I know, weird, right? Also, Jay Rodimus, I didn't catch this 6 minutes ago. I apologize. Thank you for resubscribing. Said 4 years. Let's go. Honored to have been a subscriber for so long. Your content legitimately keeps me or guides me in times like these. Keep being you. I am scared about the trajectory of your life if my content guides you.
I have a confession. I'm still subscribed to you on Twitch, but only because I haven't figured out how to not be anymore.
I have a confession.
You're still my patron?
I'm still a patron of yours. Despite the fact that the Discord it gave me access to doesn't mean shit.
Oh, God. So really, we are just, like, because I am your subscriber and you're my patron, we are essentially just transferring money around and to only benefit the companies that take a percentage of the transaction.
Correct.
Yay! Yay, capitalism.
It makes me super happy, especially, considering that Patreon dropped my my funding down. A thing that they said they weren't going to do.
You can cancel me anytime you want, man.
Oh, okay.
I will give you
guys,
whatever
do you
I give
know
my
the,
patrons
Do
for
you
free.
know the offensive shit that Vice Rhino said in our private chats? Here, allow me to leak them for you so that you can give him social ramifications for everything.
I'll fucking say it.
Oh, you
Where's my
said
fucking thing?
you said to cancel you though, so I'm trying.
No, I'm just gonna come right out and admit it. Like, I said that we can advocate for acts of violence overtly now because we're officially terrorists.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that you can dance if we want to.
I mean,
You
we
can leave your
but I
friends
don't want to.
behind.
You can dance all you want, but I ain't doing shit. I have okay.
Don't leak the group chat. Says Jay.
There's nothing to leak. We do have a group chat where we have an agreement that like nobody takes screenshots or anything without explicit permission from everybody in the group. But that's just more of a like we can feel safe. Say like if I say something off the top of my head and it turns out I was wrong, that's more of a like your friends can like be like, hey, that was kind of dumb. Don't say that. So it's more of a protection against like because we all know we mean well. Whereas if it's something that gets out there publicly, it might not necessarily come across the same way.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was getting at with the dancing thing is that my partner and I are going to a it's a club night for old people basically. It's called In Bed by 10, and it's coming to our area on October 18th, and it's basically it's you go to a club and the doors open at 4 p.m. and it closes at 9 p.m. so you can get home and in bed by 10 p.m. So it's for old people or whatever, and it's going to be like playing music from the 90s and early 2000s and stuff. And Heidi is super excited for this because she wants to go dancing and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't know. What is this dancing of which you speak? I don't know how to do that.
I used to do swing dancing.
So that's the thing. She's from the Caribbean. So for her, dancing is basically I just have to like she's going to be like twerking on my lap while I just go ha 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 into her butt or whatever.
Yeah, it's because you're white.
Yeah, but it's
dance like a white guy.
It's apparently called whining. Not like whining as in like, oh, I'm whining about it. It's like it's actually a thing or whatever. I don't know, but and like I've had conversations about this. Apparently, this is a thing that you are supposed to be able to do with girls that you don't know and not get an erection. And I'm just like, but you're grinding your bottom into my crotch. How am I not supposed to get excited about that?
That's erection central.
And Jess is like, the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. I'm learning about Caribbean dance culture is what's going on. And it is not going well because I am white as fuck. White plus grinding. No, that's not where that comes from, but I like where your head's at. That's what I'm going to be doing. No, there's a song she listens to. It's like whining, let me see you whining or whatever. I don't know. It's Caribbean music. They're not going to be playing Caribbean music probably there, but that's how she dances. So I'm going to have fun learning that in public.
Well, you can dance if you want to, and you can leave your friends behind.
I'd have to have friends first.
Hello, I am friend.
Yeah, but you're not going to be at the club with me.
I could be.
You want to? Sure. You want to come up? It's October 18th.
I don't think I'm going to make it.
No? Okay.
I can do my best. But
Magical
I don't think
Cat
I
Girl
can
says,
make
Rhino,
it.
we can fix that with scissors. I don't know what you're talking about scissoring, but scissoring is fun. So sure. Scissoring fixes everything is what I heard there. Okay. Next tweet. Dr. Taylor Marshall says Pope Leo XIV said that if you support the death penalty, then you are not pro-life. That means that Moses and part of the Pentateuch are not pro-life. Correct.
Yeah?
That is accurate. Then he says, it means dozens of popes were not pro-life. Correct. That is accurate. And were heretics. I have less of an opinion on that because heresy, in order to care about heresy, I'd have to care about orthodoxy, and I don't actually care. So yeah, lots of popes weren't pro-life. Moses and parts of the Pentateuch, not pro-life. That is accurate.
Wild how much I don't care about that.
Pope Bob is correct. And I'm going to go out on a limb here. I am not going to put Pope Bob on a pedestal because I am just starting with the assumption that because Pope Bob is the Pope of the Catholic Church, he is probably covering up child sexual abuse somewhere because he's a pope. And that's what popes do. So the fact that he said a good thing does not
really
actually
mean a whole lot.
assuage that feeling of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pope Bob is probably still gross, but he said something slightly progressive, slightly more progressive than the last pope did, and the last pope was supposed to be the progressive pope. So that,
all my homies hate the Pope.
Fennec's asking about Bob. Bob is his given name, Robert or whatever. The name that he took was Leo, but his actual name is Bob or Robert. So Pope Bob. I like Pope
Robert.
Bob. Pope Bob from Chicago.
Robert.
Bob.
I owe you
It's
my
Bob.
life, Robert.
It's Pope Bob. Come on. Tell me you don't want to be talking about Pope Bob.
I would like more about Pope Bob if he's got a little shrimp guy with elongated legs named Marcus, just saying random shit to him the entire time.
Thoughts on dead naming a pope? I don't think it counts as dead naming. But I also think Pope Bob just sounds funny. So I'm just going to go with it. Okay. And that was the last tweet, actually. So yeah.
Whoa.
We done.
What about Bob? Oh, as like his tattoo, DePlane Boss DePlane. Yeah, the Rapture got moved to October 8th because of some Julian calendar shit. Oh, yeah.
Okay, what's that have to do with the plane thing?
I don't know. I'm just reading my chat.
I mean, the plane thing was clearly a Pleasure Island reference. The plane!
I mean, I know that, like, that ended up being a plot point in the South Park episode because J.D. Vance was Tattoo.
Yeah, there was a reference to that. We need Pope Gary. We have Pope Gary right here.
Is he a gay unicorn?
He's a gay unicorn. He's trans, too, canonically. And this is, believe it or not, this is something we have actually adjudicated, is when, if you care to draw gay unicorn Gary, canonically, he does have a penis, but he also can still have a vagina.
He's a futanari.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I am familiar with that word. Olivia Williams for 279 says the Pope supports dead naming. Okay. That tracks.
That response was perfect. Yes, I am familiar with that word.
I do. It did not occur to me to use that in reference to Gary, but yes, I am familiar with what that word means. And you know what? Surprisingly, some of the special effects that are used for that type of content is actually very well done.
It's just watch hentai where it happens and they just draw it.
I know, but the live action ones, sometimes it is very well done. It's just like, I'm actually not sure how they did. Like, I mean, sometimes it's obvious where it's like, okay, it's just a guy for these shots and not for those shots. But there are other times where it's like, oh, that's actually what, like, some special effects artist actually put their, like, passion into doing this. And I kind of love it.
Jesus. Okay.
Yep, that is correct. Senator Rafael Cruz also supports dead naming. Because he is explicitly on record saying we do not go by people's preferred names, we go by their legal names, and his legal name is Raphael. So he is not Ted, he's Raphael. Because that's his own policy.
Hip hip hooray.
Yay. Okay. Well, are you going to keep streaming after this?
Yeah, I'm going to pause to make dinner real quick, and then I'll be good too.
Okay, so I will raid you while you're paused then. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, fuck off. Oh, that's not the right button.